Welcome back, students. In this class we are going to discuss about some programs based on function overloading. As you all know, the functions in Java are of four types, that is function with arguments and return values, second one function with arguments and no return values, third one function without arguments and return values, fourth one function without arguments and no return values. So this is a question based on function overloading concept. So this is the question. Design a class to overload a function sum series as follows. The first one, void sum series of int n comma doublets with one integer argument and one double argument to find and display the sum of the series given below. The series is sum equal x upon 1 minus x upon 2 plus x upon 3 minus x upon 4 plus x by 5 etc. up to n terms. This is the first function. Second function, void sum series of to find and display the sum of the following series. That is, the series is sum equal 1 plus 1 into 2 plus 1 into 2 into 3 plus etc. up to 1 into 2 into 3 etc. up to 20. So this is the program. So you want to write the code for this series. So how to write the code? By knowing the function itself. You can say that this is the first function, void sum series. This is the second function. Using same name for the function in a program, that concept is known as function overloading. So in the first function you can see that inside to the function we have passed two values, that is function with argument, isn't it? So what is the second type of function? Function without arguments. So in a program we can use same function name with the different types of arguments. The concept is known as function overloading. So you want to overload these functions in the main program and we want to write the code for this function. So how we will write the code? So look at the series, first series. In the first series, this is a function name. So what is the return type of this function? Void. So since the return type is void, this function doesn't return any value, isn't it? So also for the second function you can see that what is the return type here? Is it integer or float or anything else? No, it is void. So there is no return type. That is the first thing to be kept in mind. So we can move on to the program. So this is the answer. That is import java.util.star. Our package have been imported. So for this program there is no need to write the package. I have simply written this package name. Since we are not using any scanner class or IO class or anything else in this program. So the first thing is class. The name of the class is, here I have given overload. The most important thing to be kept in mind while declaring the class name here is that since we are here, what is the question? It is a function overloading program. It is not a constructor overloading. If our program is of constructor overloading, then you have to declare the name of the class names same as that of our function name. Since it is a function overloading program, you can declare another name. Here we have declared the class name as overload. If it is a constructor overloading concept they are asked for, you can give the same name as that function, that is the sum series. But here our purpose is of giving the name for function overloading concept. So we declared the name overload. Clear? Then after that open the class. We have opened the class. So where we will declare the functions? The functions are declared inside the class and outside the main function, isn't it? So we have declared our first function. So what is the function? Void sum series of int n comma doublets. So inside the function we have passed two arguments. The first argument is of integer type and second argument is of double type. So when we call this function, there will be some values assigned in the main function that will be passed to these variables n and x. So you don't worry about this giving value for this n and x. These values will be declared in the main function when the function is called. Clear? Okay. So what is the purpose of this sum series? To find the sum of this series, that is x by 1 minus x by 2 plus x by 3 minus x by 4. Like that the series goes up to n terms we want to find. Clear? Suppose the value of n is 3. So how long the sum series goes? That is up to 3 terms we want to find. That is x by 1 minus x by 2 plus x by 3. Clear? So this is a series. So in this series there are some things to be kept in mind. That is, this is the first term, x by 1. Then x by 2 is the second term, x by 3 is the third term, x by 4 is the fourth term, like that it goes on. So what is the speciality of this first term, x by 1? Here, see, on each term the value of x is constant, isn't it? Suppose you are giving a value of x as 2, that 2 is common for all these terms. But that is for numerator the value is constant, that is x is constant value. What is the speciality of this denominator? Its value changes, isn't it? What is the first value for the first term? 1. For second term 2, like that it goes on. So for numerator the value is constant and for denominator the value changes. And what is the other speciality of this series? That is, look upon the series, that is for the first term it is a positive value, isn't it? That is not mentioned since we know that x by 1 it is positive. What is speciality of second term? Before the term there is a sign value, isn't it? What is the speciality? It is a negative sign. That is, for first term it is positive, second term negative, for third term it is positive, for fourth term it is negative, like that it goes on. That is, for alternative terms the sign may be either positive or negative. So these are the things to be kept in mind before writing the code for this series. Clear? So let's move on to, so for this program what are the things we required? That is, we want to store this term in a variable called term. For storing this term, first term, we want a variable. For that we are assigning a variable. Then for this sign value we required a variable for storing that sign value, that is positive and negative value, that value to be stored in a variable. For that we are declaring a variable, that variable is known as sign. So you can give any value according to your wish. Clear? Okay. So our program will be like this: void sum series int n comma doublets. So we have passed two values to this series. So what is our purpose? What all variables we want to declare? We want to find the sum, isn't it? Since you all know that from the series itself it's a fraction type. So what is the result of fraction? It's a floating point value. So here you can declare the data type as either as float or double. Here I am declaring it as double. Double sum equals 0.0. Then the second variable I have assigned is sign. Int, I have declared it as integer type, int sign equal 1. Clear? Then I have written a for loop for int I equal 1, because we want to find the series up to how many terms, from 1 to what is the initial value. See, whichever value is changing, that value to be given in the for loop. Here the denominator value is changing, so that numerator value is constant. There is no need to change that value, only the denominator value is changing. Whichever value in the sum series is changing, that value should be given in the for loop. Clear? So what is the initial value? 1. What is the final value? N. So that is for int I equal 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. Then our for loop open. So what is the first thing we want to do? We want to find the sum of the series. Already we have declared the sum as 0.0. The next thing is we want to add first term. Okay, we want to get the value for the first term. For that we are declaring, and since it is of fraction type, we have declared it as double. And I have declared a variable here, term, for storing each term. That is term equal sine into x by 1. Clear? This sine value, what is the value of sine? Initially it is positive. That is positive. From the first term itself you know that it is a positive value. So for that, if the value of I equal 1, then sine will be positive. That is 1 into that term, x by I. Why I have given like this? Because the value of h is constant and the value of I changes. For that I have given the term value like this. Clear? So I get the value for term. What's our next purpose? We have find the value for term. Then we want to add the term to the initial value of sum. That is sum plus term. That is to be stored in sum. So our purpose is finished. What is the next thing? Before going to the second loop, we want to change the sign. Why we are changing the sign? Initially the value of sign is positive, and next thing, for the first term the value is positive, for second term it is negative. So before going to the loop, we want to change the sign variable value. So sign equals sign into minus 1. So what is the value of sign? Initially it is 1, that is 1 into minus 1, that is minus 1. So when we increment the value of 5, that is when I becomes 2, what is the value of sign? It is negative. Clear, students? Like that the loop will goes on under the value of I equal n. Execute it until it is I equal n. Clear? After that we will get the finite value will be stored in sum, and we want to print the sum series. That is system dot out dot println sum of the series equal plus sum, and close it. So this is for the first function. So students, I hope this is clear for you. So we have written the code for first series. Next series is void sum series of. So what is the specialty of this function? There is no arguments in this function. We didn't pass any values to this function. So what is the output we want to display? That is sum equal 1 plus 1 into 2 plus 1 into 2, like that, and until 1 into 2 into 3 up to 20. So what is the specialty of this sum series? Did you seen this before, this type of series? Yes, we have already studied that it's a sum of factorial of numbers. That is 1 factorial is 1. What is 2 factorial? 1 into 2. That is 2 factorials, sum series, like that. That is 3 factorial. That is sum of factorial of numbers. Sum of the factorial of the numbers. That series is we want to print for the second function. So already you know how to write the factorial of a program. So it's very easy. So what is the initial value of I for the for loop? It is 1. What is the final value? We want to find up to 20. Isn't it? So here is the program void sum series of. So we want to find the sum. I have declared it as long, since we want to find the factorial of up to 20. It's a large number, so we can't store it in integer data type. For that we have declared here as long. So our loop starts for int I equal, initial value is 1, I less than or equal to 20. We want to find up to 20. Then I plus plus, and declare. So all of these things you know. Declare a variable f and declare it as 1. Inside that again a for loop for finding the factorial of the number. That is for j equal 1, j less than or equal to I, j plus plus. Then f equal f into j, then sum equal sum plus f. So this is the program for finding the, also there is no need for describing all these things. All of you know all these things. Then simply print the sum series and close the series. So after doing all these functions, what is the main thing we want to do? We want to call all these functions in our program. That is, for that we will require a main function, that is public static void main string of arguments. So how we will call all these functions? With the help of a object. That is, we want to create a object. That is, how to create the object of a class? That is, class name object name equal new constructor, isn't it? That is, overload obj equal new overload of. The name of the class is overload and the object here given is obj, new overload of. So by using this object obj, we are going to invoke our function. What is our first function? Some series of, we want to pass two values, isn't it? Integer type and double type. So 5, 1. When we invoke this function, the control will goes to the first function and the value of 5 is passed to n and the value of 1 is passed to x. So next series is how to call it obj dot sum series of. When we call this function, the control will goes to this function. So what are things in that function that will be executed? So after that, close the main and close the class. So students, for this program also you have to write the comments. So I hope this program is clear for all of you. So this is an important program. This type of question will be asked for your board exam. This is a 15-mark question. So you have to study all the possible series given earlier. So we are not sure which series will be asked for your exam. So study all the possible series. So thank you. So this is the output. For that, this is the output.